Hi, I'm Riley Anderson, and in my opinion, retro FPSs, or should we call them boomer shooters, or retro shooters, or boomer FPSs, or movement shooters, or Doom clones, or whatever. My point is, they're pretty fun, which is why today I will be reviewing a small handful of them, although there will be a few rules. Rule 1. 2.5D only, no polygons allowed. The reason for this is the semi-recent update thing for Quake on Steam that raised the original price of $7 to about $16, and I don't have that kind of money. So yeah, sorry if you wanted Half-Life or Blood 2 The Chosen or something, but you're not getting it. Rule 2. This is specifically a retro FPS review video, which means no modern, retro-style FPSs, because then I need to buy, like, Ion Fury, and that shit's expensive, man. Rule 3. Only games that are at least somewhat well-known and or well-regarded, which is the reason I didn't do Heretic or Rot. Not necessarily that they're bad, it's just that who the hell has ever heard of Heretic or Rot? It also eliminates, like, most games on the build engine, but anyway, with those rules defined, we shall now proceed. And we're better to start but the beginning.
Mein Leben!
Ha, just kidding, I won't play Wolfenstein, even if you force me to. No, never, never!
I'll rip your head off and shit down your neck.
Ah, Duke 3D, the game that brought circle strafing and jibbing out of nonsensical and stupidly laid out moon bases to actual places that could theoretically exist in the real world. Then back to dumbass moon bases. But then back to realistic places again. Duke Nukem 3D was made on the build engine, a slightly ironic name considering most of what you do in build games is destroy shit. While Duke wasn't the first game made in the build engine, it was arguably the first good game ever made in it, and very nearly was the last. But the real question is, does it hold up? Well, kinda. I mean, playing it nowadays will probably never be as good as playing it in 1996, I'd imagine, an experience that I'll never have, although it is still quite fun. And really, the worst part of the game is the second episode, where everything goes back to Doom-style levels, and the best levels are when the game fully embraces its more grounded, normal playstyle. So, yeah. Wait, is that sexual content and innuendo in a video game? Ban it! Ban it all! Ban it all! Sorry. Alright, next game. While Duke Nukem may be more advanced, you'll truly never get as raw and brutal an experience as Doom. I love Doom. People say it's basic, which is true, and not very hard if you've played other retro shooters, which is also true. I beat the game on ultraviolence without much trouble, and I suck at retro shooters. But there is some charm in its simplicity, and I probably had the best time with it out of all the games here. Something about the weapons, the enemies, is just so perfect. And while there aren't many enemies or weapons, the game is over in about 3 to 4 hours, which I really think there should be more of nowadays. Sure, there are benefits to longer 10 to 20 hour or longer games, but shorter campaigns also have benefits, you know? So, in conclusion, play Doom. Just do it.
Revenge is dish best served raw.
As I said earlier in this video, Duke Nukem was very nearly the only good thing to come out of the janky mess known as the build engine. Luckily, however, in '97, a year after Duke Nukem was released, 2 more games made with it came out, making the big 3. One of these was Shadow Warrior, and to be honest, it kind of feels like the Dark Souls 2 of the big 3. It's not necessarily bad, in fact, really quite good. But compared to the revolutionary Duke Nukem 3D and the sheer quality of the 3rd game of the trilogy, it somewhat falls to the wayside. Also, the enemies are all pretty annoying, especially the hit scanners, but I guess overall it's fine. Look, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like Doom 2, or at least not as much as 1. Now, I do understand the praise it receives for its more savage, bloodthirsty gameplay, but I really hated a lot of the levels. It is a lot harder than Doom, and maybe that's why I didn't like it. Kids in the 90s had almost a year of honing their skills in Doom 1, while I basically just jumped from one to the other. Or maybe it was something to do with GZ Doom. I noticed that I moved slower in this than in 1, and my super shotgun reloaded slower than I had seen in other people's gameplays. Or maybe I'm just making excuses because I suck. Whatever, because now we're on to the final game. The ultimate champion of the big 3 build engine classics. Blood is the only game, along with Doom, that I had already played before making this video, and that combination might have just set my expectations a little too high. Look, Blood is good. Really good. But why? Well, I think that the reason for its greatness is because it really is the pinnacle of what shooters were in the early to mid-90s. It came out in 97, a year before Half-Life, which completely changed the course of shooters to come, arguably for the worst. Not to say Half-Life is a bad game, God no, it's amazing. But Blood, well, it was everything that 5 years of shooter evolution had brought. The culmination, the last hurrah, before Half-Life changed everything. Really, everything is just perfect. Except the hit scanners. Seriously, fuck the hit scanners. Sure, the later levels get progressively worse, but that's basically true for all these games. Even Fresh Supply is pretty good, meaning if you want to get the game, you don't have to worry about DOSBox or build GDX, you can just buy it from Steam. So, in conclusion, Blood is the ultimate, the alpha. Blood is one of the best first-person shooters maybe ever. Blood is. Still not as good as Doom, but I definitely recommend it. Alright, bye.